Very good evening to all of you. Okay, so let's start with the today's lecture of engineering mathematics, lecture 3, linear algebra. So first of all, let's discuss what we have studied in the last class. Okay, so for them who were not present in the last class, so last class we have discussed what is transpose. So transpose is obtained by interchanging the rows into columns and columns into rows. Then we discussed symmetric matrix. Symmetric matrix is a matrix for which A is equal to A transpose, that we have seen. Then we have seen the skew symmetric matrix, and it is the matrix for which A is equal to minus of A transpose. And then we discussed this important topic of determinant with its properties. Okay, so in today's class again we will start with determinant only by solving some questions based on determinant, and then we will go to some topics which are not that much important, but because these are some terms that you should know. If a question comes in exam, you should not be blank like what this topic is. So we will discuss these two terms very fastly, and then the topic of vector space. Okay, so this will be the agenda of today's class. Okay, so before going further, please tell me, in the last class I have given you one question. How many of you solved it, and what is the answer that you get? What was the answer to the last question? I said that please do it as an assignment. So again I am writing, but I am not writing the question fully. The question was that for a matrix A, the row operations are applied, and the row operations were mentioned like this. First row operation, second operation was this. So the question was that for a matrix A, these all operations were applied to the matrix, and then by applying these operations, the matrix changes into the following given matrix. So after applying the operation, the matrix will change into the matrix given as okay. After applying all these operations, the matrix transforms into this matrix. Then you had to find out what is the determinant of the initial matrix. Determinant of initial matrix was asked. Okay. So no, Udit, it did not abruptly end. I just asked you to note the question and just attempt it as an assignment. So I am able to see that you are answering as 12. Again I am specifying the thing that was asked was not the determinant of this matrix, but the determinant of the initial matrix. Means a matrix is there, 4 cross 4 matrix will be there, on which these operations are applied, and then after applying the operation, the matrix transforms into this matrix. Then what will be the determinant of initial matrix? Will the determinant of this matrix and this matrix be the same? They will be the same or they will be different? Answer this. So first of all, determinant value remains the same after row operations if the row operations are your elementary transformations. According to the properties of determinant, we have seen that if the operations that are performed are elementary transformations, then the determinant will not change. And what are elementary transformations? If I write here, elementary transformations. I am giving an example, like if you are adding any multiple of a particular row to one row, or if you are adding any multiple of one column to the other column, like this one, you have C2 minus 3C3. Okay, these are elementary operations. Now, if you do an operation like this, this is not an elementary operation. Why? Because obviously if you are adding a number, a scalar to each and every element of a particular row, then obviously the determinant will change. Okay, we have not seen any property like this, that this will not change the determinant. We have not seen like this, so this is not an elementary transformation. Okay, similarly, adding any constant or subtracting any constant from columns is also not an elementary transformation. Understood or not? Yes? Okay. Will this kind of operation like k times R2, will this be an elementary transformation? So obviously not. If you are multiplying every element of a particular row with some scalar k, you have seen that the determinant will also be multiplied by the same factor. That was the property. Okay. So these three are not elementary transformations, while these two are your elementary transformations. So what is the logic for this question? That we will see how many of these are elementary transformations and which one of these are not changing the determinant. Okay. So let's see. Tell me, if I say this is the first operation, and let's say if I assume that, let's say initially the determinant of A is k. I assume the determinant of A is k. Can you tell me what will be the determinant after you apply this operation? Will it be k or it will be changing? It will change or not? What I am saying, let's say we have assumed initially the determinant is k, then after applying the first operation, will the determinant change? Obviously no, it will not change because it is a elementary transformation. Any multiple of a particular row is added to the other row, it is a elementary transformation. So after this step also the determinant will remain k only. After this step also the determinant will remain k only. Now tell me, will this second operation change the determinant value? Will the second operation will change the determinant value? Obviously again it will not change the determinant value. Again it's an elementary transformation. So if the determinant is k here, again the determinant will be k only in this step also. Now for after applying third operation, will the determinant change? Yes, multiply by -1. We have seen that in the properties of determinant, that if a particular row or column is interchanged, or the property was if two parallel lines are interchanged, then the determinant value will remain the same, but its sign will change. So if it is k here, on applying this operation it will become -k after this step. Okay, everybody is getting it or not? Now after this step, after fourth transformation, tell me what will be the determinant value? What will be the determinant value? 5k by 5k? It will become -k by 2 obviously. Again, it's the same thing that if you have multiplied any particular row with a common factor, determinant also gets multiplied by the same factor. So if your row 2 is multiplied with half, determinant will also be multiplied with half. So if it was -k here, after this step it will become -k by 2. -k by 2. Yes, now everybody is answering correctly. Okay. Now again for the fifth transformation, will the determinant value remain same or change? So obviously it is again an elementary transformation. So it was -1 by 2k initially. After this also it will remain -1 by 2k. Now what the question says is, after all these transformation, the matrix is changed into this matrix. Can you find out the determinant of this matrix? Let's say this is the matrix B. What is the value of determinant of B? What is the value of determinant of B? -12. Yes, because it's a triangular matrix. It is a upper triangular matrix, and again we have seen the property that if a matrix is triangular matrix, the determinant is calculated just by multiplying your diagonal elements. So determinant value will be 2 into -1 into 3 into 2, which is -12. Okay, got it? Now the thing is, this -12k and this -12 will be the same. Obviously, because initially it was k, we have done operations, then it changed into -12k, and this matrix is representing the same matrix. So this -12 is nothing but -12k. So what will we say? That -12 is equal to -12k. So what do you get k as? K is nothing but 24. And initially we have assumed the determinant of A is k. So determinant of k is 24, and this is the answer. Any doubt in this question? Any doubt? Represents area, then how it is -12? Okay, determinant represents area, but how is it -12? The thing is that I have asked you the value of determinant. I have not asked you the value of area. Not every time your 2 cross 2 matrix will represent your vectors. Okay, the 2 cross 2 matrix may represent any of your data, like the number of students in a particular row or particular column. It can represent that thing. Okay, so not always the determinant will be area, but physically it will represent area. So when I say that this matrix consists of these vectors, then again you will think of determinant as area. Again, if that is the case, and if you are getting as minus 12 here, then what will you write as the answer? You will write it as that because determinant is representing area, it can't be negative. So we'll take determinant is plus 12 only. Okay. So one thing I'll like to emphasize here is that I have not taken very direct questions which come in GATE exam. Like in the last question, we have directly solved the determinant of a 4 cross 4 matrix. So I have not taken those questions for the class because you can solve them very easily by your own. I have taken those questions where I can build your concept very gratefully, and those questions which you might be not be able to solve on your own. Okay, so don't get this feeling that oh, so much difficult questions are asked in mathematics. This is not the case. I have chosen the typical questions from every branch, not the easier ones. There are questions which are easier also, typical also. Like if you are getting total 15 marks question, then from that 15 marks you will get around 10 to 12 marks question as very easy, and the remaining marks is typical one. So I have chosen only those questions. Okay, so that it will become very grateful or very beneficial for you in the most effective way. So don't feel that very hard question are asked. So again, now I'll say that please attempt all the questions for your branch at your home, and if you have any doubt, then I'll give you my mail ID. You can mail me that doubt anytime. So this is my mail ID. So this is the mail ID, pallavi.g@thegateacademy.com. Please attempt as many questions as possible at your end also, because maths is all about practice. If you don't have practice, you will not be able to solve questions in exam. So please practice at home, and if any doubt comes, you can ask me in the class also, or if you feel like it can't be entertained in class, then you can mail me also, and it is as per your choice. Yes, pallavi.g@thegateacademy.com. Yes. Don't feel like why to write down the answers every time. Please write down your answers if you are getting those, because I should know who are able to solve and who all are not able to solve. In that way only I will be able to deliver my class. Like I can see how many of you are understanding and how many of you are not understanding. So if you are getting the same answer, then also please reply. Okay, let's see the question now. The maximum value of the determinant among all 2 cross 2 real matrices, symmetric matrices with trace 14 is this. Now first advice to you, in a question from this chapter, which is linear algebra, if you have not been given some matrix, okay, like in this question there is no matrix given, but some data is given regarding that matrix. So what we will be doing, we will be just assuming a matrix such that it follows all the given conditions. Okay, so what will I do? First of all, the condition given is that the matrix order is 2 cross 2. So I will say there is a matrix A of order 2 cross 2, and it is a real matrix, means all elements are real. Okay, now again one condition is given that it is symmetric matrix. Now for a symmetric matrix, you know that diagonal element can be any real number. So if I say that initially this is the assumed 2 cross 2 matrix, but because it is to be symmetric, then what should be the condition? That this element should be equal to this element. So I'll just eliminate this C from here and I'll write this as B. Why? Because the matrix is given as symmetric matrix. Now what is the thing that is asked? The thing that is asked is the maximum value of determinant. And one more thing is given. One more thing that is given is trace is as 14. Trace is given as 14. What is trace? What do you mean by trace? Trace is the sum of the principal diagonal elements. Okay, we have already seen. So that means that A plus D should be equal to 14. Again, I can eliminate this D from this matrix in the terms of A. So now the matrix A becomes A, B, B and 14 minus A. Now the determinant value for this matrix, determinant value will be A times 14 minus A minus B square. Minus B square. Now what the thing is that you need to find out the maximum value of the determinant. For this determinant to be maximum, what should be the value of this B? If you want to maximize this determinant value, then what should be the value of B? B should be minimum as possible because it is getting subtracted from this quantity. Okay, so what I am trying to say that for maximum value of determinant of A, B should be, or B square actually, B square should be minimum. And now because this is a squared quantity, it cannot be negative, it will be either 0 or positive. So what will be the negative value for B, minimum value of B square? B square value will be 0, that means B is 0. So now the determinant turns out to be A times 14 minus A. A times 14 minus A. Yes, everybody is answering right. So now what was asked to maximize this determinant value, and we have seen that there is a variable A. Now if you know the concept of maxima and minima, then you can solve this question. What will I say? That for this determinant value to be maximum, I'll say that D by dA of determinant should be equal to 0. If you don't know this thing, then also we will discuss this in calculus chapter, how to find maximum minima. So it is like that, you will differentiate the function with respect to the variable and say it will be equal to 0. So now if I differentiate, it will come out to be differentiation of 14a. It will be 14 and differentiation of a square will be 2a, 0, a is 7. A is 7. So finally your matrix which I have written here turns out to be, this is 7, B is 0, this is 0 and 14 minus A which is 7. So this is 7007. Final answer determinant is equal to 49. Why I have considered these to be of same value? Because this matrix was given as symmetric matrix. And in the last class we have seen how do a symmetric matrix look like. So we will say that this is the diagonal and with respect to the diagonal the elements are mirror image. So if there is a B here, there should be a B here too. Okay. Modulus means, yes, the modulus function is a function in which if you put any value of x, whether it be a negative value or positive value, it will always give you result as a positive value only. Okay, that is the modulus function. So if I ask you what is the modulus of minus 2, you will say it is 2. Again, modulus of 2 also is also 2. So again it will give you only positive value as the answer. That is the modulus function. Now let's come to the question. Determinant value given as 100. Okay, let's find out the determinant. Now this is a 4 cross 4 matrix and do not get confused that it is a triangular matrix. It's not a triangular matrix. You can see that because this element here is non-zero. If this was 0, then it would have been a triangular matrix. Yes, Zinu, hello. So this is not a triangular matrix. Now what will I do? I'll choose this row. I have told you if there is a higher order derivative, choose a particular row or column in which there are maximum zeros. So I'll choose R4 and I'll do the determinant expansion along R4. And what will I say? It is the product of the element with the cofactor. So element 1, 0. So cofactor multiplication 0. Again 0, multiplication 0, 0, multiplication 0. Only this will give you the value. So B into minus 1. And the element's position, this is A44. This is A44, so it will be 4 plus 4 and then the minor of this element B. Minor is obtained by deleting the row and the column in which the element is present. So it will be A032511 0.0002. This is given as 100. Okay. Minus 1 to the power 8, again it will be plus 1 only. Again, to find the determinant, I will choose this R3 and I will expand. So I will say it is equal to 2 times into minus 1 to the power. This element here is A33. So minus 1 to the power 3 plus 3 into cofactor of A025. This is 100. So finally we are getting this to be, again it is positive only, so it will turn out to be plus 1. So 2b into 5a, 2b into 5a means 10ab is 100. So ab is 10. Equation 1. ab is 10. We can take 5 also. What 5? Yes, yeah. Or we can take this column also and then expand. It's the same way. Okay, understood. Now if I talk about trace, trace is again defined as the sum of principal diagonal elements. So if I look at the principal diagonal elements, these are a plus 5 plus 2 plus b, and this is given as 14. That means a plus b is 7. 14 minus 7, that is again 7. This is your second equation. Now two variables are there, a and b, and we have two equations among them. We can easily solve them. Okay, so one of the way is that from here you will say that okay, b is 7 minus a, and you will substitute this value in 1. Substitute in 1, and then you will say that it is equal to 7 minus a times 10. And similarly you will solve this to get a quadratic equation. So it will be a square minus 7a is equal to 10. Or I'll say so this is one of the way to solve this, but we will not go with this solution. We will not go into with this solution. Why? Because we are not required the value of a and b. We are required the value of a minus b. So now we will play smart here. Okay, always be, you do not need to work hard for getting success in GATE exam. You just need to work smart. So what is the smartness here is that you have the value of a plus b. You have the value of AB. Using that you can find out the A minus B value by this relationship, that A minus B square is A plus B square minus 4AB. Class 6th algebra identity, A minus B whole square is A plus B whole square minus 4AB. Substitute the value of A plus B as 7, so it will be 49 here, and AB as 10, so it will be a 40 here, so 9. So a minus b is turning out to be plus minus 3, but because modulus was asked, so modulus value will be just plus 3, and this is your answer. So this is a matrix given to you in the question. There is a matrix J6, and it is written that this matrix is obtained by reversing the order of the columns of identity matrix I6. So there is no question mark in this case actually. It was just a statement that this J6 matrix is obtained by reversing the columns of your identity matrix. That was mentioned here. Okay. Now they are saying that let us imagine some matrix P, which is I6 plus alpha J6. I6 is again identity matrix of order 6 plus alpha times J6, where alpha is non-negative real number. Okay, then value of alpha such that the determinant value of P is 0. Okay. Okay. So first of all, tell me, from this equation can we write that determinant of P is determinant of I6 plus alpha times J6. Is this equation correct or not? So this is actually not correct. This is not correct. Because we have seen in the property earlier that determinant of A plus B is not equal to determinant of A plus determinant of B. So if you are finding out determinant of B, you can say it is equal to determinant of I6 plus alpha J6, but it is not equal to splitting of this determinant. You can't split like this. Understood or not? So if you are answering alpha, if you are not answering, if you are answering alpha as 1 from this equation, then your approach is wrong. Answer is right, but approach is wrong. So this is not a correct way to solve. Now, that's what I wanted to tell you. Now, how to solve this question? So first of all, let's see what will be your matrix P. What will be your matrix P? Yes, Chandresh, you should remember, this is not a correct way to solve. You can't arrive from this result. Now, if I frame the matrix P, first of all, let's find out what is alpha J6. Look over the board very carefully and then write it down. Okay, so I am writing down the alpha J6 matrix. Alpha J6, if you multiply alpha, a scalar quantity, to J6, matrix multiplication is there. So what will be happening? This alpha will be multiplied to each and every element of this matrix. But because except the off diagonal, all the elements are 0, so the effect will be this much, that these elements will only change to alpha. These elements will only change to alpha. Did you understand how I changed? Because all of the elements except these off diagonal elements were 0, so I changed only the off diagonal elements as alpha. Okay. Now alpha J6 is done. Now I have to add this alpha J6 matrix with I6. So let's do that. If I add this with I6, so I6, you know, I6 is identity matrix, and you know that in the identity matrix the leading diagonal elements are 1, and except those all other elements are 0. So what will happen if you add these two matrices is that these diagonal elements will change to 1, 1, okay, any doubt up to this point? This is nothing but your matrix P. This is your matrix P. Any doubt? So now we have seen some properties that when does the determinant becomes 0. So first property when the determinant is 0 is when all of the elements of a particular line are 0. When all elements are 0, determinant is 0. But here you can see that this is not so. In every column and in every row there is a 1 present. That means it will be not 0, and due to that property we can't get 0. But what can happen, that if two rows become identical, we have seen that if two parallel lines become identical or same, then the determinant is also 0. So if I can say that, let's say this is R3 and this is R4, then if R3 becomes equal to R4, then this determinant will turn out to be 0. Now when this will happen, when this alpha and 1 are same, and again this alpha is 1 are same, so this implies that alpha should be equal to 1. Alpha should be equal to 1. Okay, then get to the next question. Repeat last. Okay, what I said, that this is the matrix P. Okay, for the determinant of this matrix to be 0, we can apply the property that if anyhow two of the rows become same, if two of the rows become same, then we know that the determinant value will be 0. So I can say that this R3 can become equal to R4 if this alpha becomes equal to 1 and this alpha also becomes equal to 1. So as soon as this alpha becomes 1, R3 becomes equal to R4 and determinant will be 0. Understood, Sai, or not? On addition, how values change to 1? Because but I6 is nothing but matrix with leading diagonal element as 1 and other elements as 0. So whenever you will add these two matrices, there will be like, initially here was 0, so 0 plus 1, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, alpha plus 0. Similarly, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, and so on. So the only change due to this addition will be seen in this diagonal elements, so that they will turn out to be 1. So what is the question? Let me explain the question to you. Let A is a M cross N matrix and B is a N cross M matrix. Okay. then it is given that determinant of some identity matrix M of order M plus AB and determinant of identity matrix of order N plus BA both are the same. Then where Ik is denoting this matrix using the above property, this property you have to use. The property is that In plus AB determinant is equal to In plus BA determinant. Then you have to find out using this property what is the determinant of this matrix. Okay, so many of you must be thinking that, oh my god, what is this probability property, and ma'am has not discussed, so it is the fault of ma'am that ma'am has not discussed this property, then how we can use it. Okay, so if you are thinking that, then actually you are wrong, because in this question basically they have tried to confuse you. They have tried to confuse you that please use this property and then solve. Do you require that? Do you require to solve the determinant using this property only? Actually no. Why? Because the matrix is given to you. You know how to calculate a determinant of a matrix. Who cares if you are using this property or not? Understood or not? They are just trying to deviate your mind towards this complicated property that solve using this. But actually it's not required. The matrix is given, the elements are given, you can find the determinant anyhow. Okay, so sometimes in GATE they will ask you some quantities or they will tell you something which is actually not required in the question, so that you get confused or you get distracted at how to solve this question. Like in this case also, in this time also, mechanical paper saw this kind of questions that they were asking a lot of quantities, they were telling a lot of quantities, so that you get confused and you are getting stuck in that how to use this property and then solve it. Okay, so understood my point or not? This property is actually not required to solve the question. The question is simply find the determinant of this matrix. Okay, ignore the all 4 lines, and the question is simply find the determinant of this matrix. So how many of you can find that? So determinant calculation for this matrix is also very easy. All of you have answered this as 5. Good. But I would tell you that determinant calculation is like a 2-step question. This is a 2-step question. I can get the answer in the next step itself. Why? Because it's a special matrix which is having all the elements of all the columns as similar. You can see that C1 is having first element as 2, second one, third one, fourth one. Secondly, column second has first element is 1, then 2, 1, 1. So you can see that all of these columns are having same elements with different order. Same elements with different order, just their order is changed. Like in this, 2 is their first element, in this it is second, it is third, and so on. So in this kind of a matrix, when you have the elements as same with different order of all the columns, then always apply a golden operation of adding all the rows to the first row, Why? Because if I do so, let's do this operation that on first row you will add all the rows like this. Then tell me what will you get as your row 1? 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 5. Again 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. Again it will be 5. Similarly you will get all 5s here and the rest elements will remain the same. So what is the point? The point is that if such matrix is there where the elements of all columns are same with different order, then always apply this operation so that your row 1 elements will become the same, and as soon as you arrive at this step, what you can do is you can take this 5 as common from this matrix. We have seen that we can take an element common if it is common to each and every element of a particular row or column. So here it will be 1, 1 and 1, and now this determinant you need to calculate. If anyone is having any doubt in this, please ask and write this note also. Write this note, and after this again I am sure that from here what will be my answer, because the options are given to you. As options are given, actually whenever options are given, that means actually the answer is given to you. The thing is that you have to choose among 4. Answer will be one of these only, just you have to choose one. Now, because I have arrived at this step, okay, and this is a determinant containing all numbers as integers. These are all integers. So can you tell me, that this determinant ever will it turn out to be a fractional number? Will this determinant, just forget about 5, but this determinant, will it ever turn out to be a fractional number? So never it can be a fractional number. Okay, it can never turn out to be a fractional number. It will always be a integer value. So this determinant will be a integer values always. Did you get it or not? What I said, that there are all integers here, and all you need to do is just multiply, add, subtract the integers to get the determinant value, and you are even adding, multiplying or subtracting the integer value. Finally you will get answer as again an integer value, so it will not be a fractional number. Now it means that the answer will be a multiple of 5 itself. Okay, either it is 5 times 0, 5 times 1, 5 times minus 1, 5 times minus 2, but it will be a multiple of 5 only. That suggests that your answer is option C. Okay, so this is how this question was. Very easy. In the second step itself you can arrive at the answer, while the statement of this question was quite tough. I guess you have understood the point. What was I trying to convey? Let's go to the next question. See the slide. What is the... So lengthier method would be the one where you will convert, you will apply some row operations and you will convert these ones into zeros. You must have done this in your lower classes. So what operation you will do? You will just take the, let's say, row 2, and you will say on row 2 let's minus R1, so that this will become 0. Similarly on row 3 you will apply this operation R3 minus R1, and on row 4 you will do R4 minus R1. Why we are converting into 0? Because you know that the expansion is the multiplication of the element with the cofactor. That's why we are doing this. Correct only. So the matrix given is 3, 7, 13, 4, 9, 2 and so this is the matrix given to you. Now the thing is, they are asking you to perform two operations. They are asking you to perform two operations. First operation is that add the third row to the second row. Add the third row to the second row means you are applying the operation on R2, and on R2 you are adding the third row. Okay, and the second operation is that subtract the third column from the first column. From first column you are subtracting the third column. Okay, now they have asked you to do so, but do you actually need to do so? So the answer will be no. You actually do not need to perform these two operations. Why? Why? Because these are elementary transformations. These are elementary transformation, and we have seen that elementary transformations do not change your determinant value. So whatever be the determinant here, after these two operations the determinant value will be the same. So the thing is, just calculate the determinant of this matrix. Just calculate the determinant of this matrix, and again, because in this you can see that your column 3 is just 15 times your column 1. That means C3 is proportional to C1. And in the last class we have seen that whenever the determinant is having two lines as proportional, the determinant value is 0. So answer is 0 for this question. So now let's come to two operations on matrices. The first one is known as adjoint and the next one is known as inverse. You can first of all see that both of the things I have written as adjoint of a square matrix, inverse of a square matrix. That means that adjoint and inverse are those quantities which are defined only for square matrix. So determinant is defined for square matrix, inverse also, adjoint also. Okay, so let's move ahead. Write down adjoint of a square matrix.